We're back? We're back. All right, okay. I want to thank Coco Loco Coco. Ah, I forgot. You guys got to take a shot. Anyways, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching today. The Eskwilax Hour, episode 114. And today I also have Josie helping me out with Fifi. And they'll be out on a second. I forgot. Take a shot. Anyways, so also we have today Paloma Negra. That's her handle on Instagram. And we gotta do this where I think kind of gotta back up a little bit. There we go. Now it's funny because we always go through this because you know on the monitor right there, like I'm kind of shorter. Yeah. I know worries. Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you
for having me.
And what did we mention? Like a month ago, 2 months ago, when?
Yeah.
Right?
When I think you were interviewing David Sputnik Torres. Yeah.
¿Cómo se llaman?
David.
No, the greedy greedy bastards.
Yeah.
Shout outs, man. I hope you're doing cool. I saw you last time at the MCAU, so I hopefully I'll catch you there again. Say what's up. But yeah, so that's the one. You watched it or you saw parts of it? Or?
Oh, I watched the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Nice, cool.
He's been very supportive and helpful when it came to my art, so I had to catch him.
All right. Yeah, let's take a seat and then we'll kind of chat up a little bit before we're gonna learn a little bit about Paloma and our friend Josie. She's gonna kind of take over for right now because we're doing this. Okay. And Fifi. All right. Good. So she's gonna I'm gonna be in the background kind of today, guys. So, like I said, we always getting creative here. So you can take over, Josie.
Good. How are you?
Good. Like I said, thank you for.
Is it on? It's on.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you for being with us here today. We're super excited. Well, I'm actually super excited to not just be co-hosting, but to be welcoming or bringing light to another female artist here in LA. Your work is beautiful. If anybody has seen her work on Instagram or has purchased it or has seen it around, I'd like to show everybody and give everybody an introduction of like your origin of your work and where you'd like to take it and just what's your passion for here.
Okay, so okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome.
This is what we're doing today, so don't worry.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So my work, I've been drawing for a really long time. Ever since I could remember, I was just drawing on like the walls at home and like my grandmother's address book and like her bills and like things like that. And so I think it was just when I kind of became a little bit older that I became invested in it, and I was influenced by it, like other things and stuff. So, so the work that I do now, it's kind of more like a pop surrealism style, and I was influenced more by graffiti and then like traditional tattooing and traditional like surrealism. So I just kind of combined all of those things, and I just kind of tried to find my own style.
Nice, perfect. Blending the different kinds of arts and cultures that LA brings to us, huh? It's just really nice. I really enjoy a lot of like independent artists that just bring to light their own mix of media and creativity. And today, like, what pushed you to, finally want to bring it out to the public online and stuff, with another great underground show like the Eskwilax Hour.
What pushed me, to bring it out there was, I was drawing a lot when I was in high school and in middle school, and then, after I had graduated, I enrolled at LBCC at Long Beach City College. And over there, I just took classes for, to kind of improve my skill and things like that. But then, like, when I was over there, I guess I kind of, I became doubtful of like the way that I created and things like that. And so I think it was only up until recently, in the past maybe 2 or 3 years, that I kind of gained that confidence again to create. And for me, it just felt right, and I got support too. I got support from my sister and from my mom, and so that also pushed me to start creating again, and now it just feels right to me to do it. Yeah.
To do it more. And I mean, I guess one of the most, I'm really into art, but of course I don't remember a lot of names, and that's a lot of us sometimes. I guess that's why artists get really creative by making stickers that'll remind them of them, or making very specific kind of art that is an example of our specific kind of media that we use to kind of have a trademark of it, right? Or our name also. Like Paloma Negra is a really beautiful name. I'm not sure if you already explained what Paloma Negra, the origins of.
Well, my name, Paloma, it's my legal name.
Oh,
and,
cool. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
and so, I was kind of, growing up, I was made fun of a lot because of that name, and then I hated it. I hated it for a long time. But then, into my adulthood, I just learned to embrace it, and I felt like it was kind of different. And then also, I just liked the connection that it had with Pablo Picasso's daughter, who's also named Paloma. And then Paloma Negra is just my Instagram handle, and I came up with that name because a song from Chavela Vargas. Yeah, and it's called Paloma Negra, and so when I heard that song, I just felt like it was like really strong and powerful and like really emotional, and I just felt like that just went well. That was the name that I wanted for myself. It's like kind of dark, and so yeah, I just stuck with that.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's very good. Yeah, I don't know, but let's say Paloma Negra. It's beautiful, but also, yeah, I mean, it's a really good trademark, and it also shows like embracing like our past, our present, and our future. Like when you combine a name that now represents art that is not just like motivating to yourself but motivating to other artists. Sometimes even if we don't think that it's for other people, we all still live in the same society, so it's gonna, and we also all need each other to kind of expose our art and to grow as artists, right? Because independently, of course, it's important to push ourselves as like artists, but we also, by I guess working on ourselves, like we push other people to want to push our art as well, so that they can push their art. I guess it's all just part of a chain. Sometimes I see it, especially in the art world, when we get to meet like independent artists who literally start from just sketching to somebody saying, oh man, I really like that sketch, and you're like, oh thanks, and then you add on to it, right? And then it soon transfers to like a painting or to a piece in the street or to a sticker. And I don't know, I really like how there is like a
network, or
like a network of it. Yeah, exactly, of artists.
For me, before I even started to get myself out there, I wasn't sure if like I would be received well, or like if because I think in the art world sometimes people can be competitive, at least from like my perspective or from my experience. And so I was kind of afraid of that. But I think when I came out, like it sort of proved me wrong, because I did meet a lot of like great artists that work independently through like little shows like Pancakes and Booze and Pancakes and Booze, Viva la Mujer, and they've been super supportive, and so I really like that. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah,
I like that. And then, what part of the city did you say you originated from? Like your art, or like guess where you're from, kind of? I'm not from LA for sure.
Well, I live in Southgate. I've always lived in Southgate. I was born in Artesia, and I live in Southgate. And I guess that's kind of my influences right now. Just like our culture, our community, and especially the women that are in our community. And because you know what, something that I've learned to appreciate about the women in our community, like Latina women, is that they're really tough. Like they're really strong, and you know, they don't take shit from people, in other words. And so I like to incorporate that in my work too, and I deal a lot with like female symbols, and you know, like there's kind of an attitude in there with the character that I usually use. And so so yeah, that's very much an influence, just growing up around the women, like in my community.
I really like that perspective, and how right now you stick to, oh shoot, there's an example of your work that you said has that character that has. Do you have different symbolisms for the different parts of your doll? Would you call her a doll, or?
Well, she came from she came about when I was like, I kind of had this phase where I wanted to get into graffiti, but like I just couldn't pick up a spray can to save my life. So I just started like stenciling, and then I created like these slap stickers, and but I wanted to use a character that looked like me, and also I was influenced by characters that I see in graffiti too, that are sort of they kind of have like this vintage or old school like cartoon style. And so like I came up with her, and she's sort of like a self-portrait in a way. And so when I came up with her, I was thinking about like trends, or like certain trends, or things that kind of women face, or like things that we just kind of face today in like our society, or our generation. So sometimes I kind of paint that whole LOL thing or OMG and stuff, because for me it's kind of a way to make fun of the way that we communicate with one another now. You know, it's like the English language is just kind of brought down to a few letters, and so like I feel like conversation doesn't have weight anymore. And so I kind of what I try to do is like I juxtapose that with you know, imagery that's like weird or like shocking. So that's why you have her like with her skin ripped off, and like her muscles are showing, and like, but she's saying LOL, and it just sounds like silly, you know, it just sounds ridiculous. And so I created that piece in 2015.
It's beautiful. It's like the inside coming out. Just one word is said. It's like a lot of what happens today, it's like a lot of work is behind the scenes or underneath the skin to the character that we are today, right? Which is sometimes just exposed by like a word, like Paloma, Negra, you know, like, or just LOL, or something that's, it's brought down to such a minimal level, even with so much work behind it. But, today, I guess we are in an era where we talk about feminism in a way where it's become empowering as an individual, as part of a movement, as part of kind of like this era of more liberal people and young artists. And there's artists who went to school, artists who didn't go to school, and both are very powerful social beings, especially nowadays with social media, right? Because you can be almost nobody and go to somebody. Oh, look at it. Okay. Be from like nobody to somebody real quick. And what do you think about social media and the impact that it's done to your art? Do you feel like it helped you push it, or do you feel like it helped you just create like an online image, or is it not important to really have an image online with your work right now, or is it just more important to get more media out there, or just more face? Because you've done some art walks, I assume, or not yet?
I've done a few art walks around in Montebello. My first one was in Montebello, and then my second one was at East Los Angeles. And as far as social media goes, I feel like for me, social media benefits me in when I'm trying to bring something out there, like that's kind of my career, or like my passion and things like that. I don't care for like the superficial aspect of it. So for a long time, I was kind of staying away from social media for that reason, because I felt like, you know, like sometimes someone's work or like their talent, it's kind of outweighed by superficiality, you know. And so I was, that's why for me, I try not to put my face out there, you know, like with selfies and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like for me, you know, it doesn't feel like true to what I'm trying to put out there. Like what I'm trying to put out there is like in my heart or whatever, and what I'm creating. And so I think that that's more important than like an appearance or whatever.
I agree. I'm glad that you decided to come out to social media once you felt you had the work that you needed to be done, not because you just wanted to be like socially social media exposed, I guess, in a way. But I definitely wanted to just some of your pieces. You showed us the other girl, and now we have kind of
Oh yeah, it's a narwhal.
Okay, cool.
Like he's just like someone I kind of put together, I came up with, because I don't know, I was just thinking of like people that are just assholes basically, and so I made this whale and I named him Happy, and he's just an asshole.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what he does. He just like decapitates people with his tusk.
I like it. It's really beautiful, your work.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's the same character, different?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, cool.
And these I usually work with gouache, which is sort of like it's kind of like watercolor, except the color's very opaque. It's and sometimes it's difficult to work with. A lot of people who ask me about gouache, they talk about how difficult it is to work with. But what I like about it is that it's like velvety, it's smooth, and I like the colors, the way the colors come out. And so, yeah, I really like that medium.
It adds to the, I guess, the cartoon feeling you want to add to it.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
The pigment's pretty thick, I guess, and it dries fast, or how would it be?
It dries pretty fast. It kind of depends, like, if you make it into a wash, so like if you add more water to it, it's probably going to take a little bit longer.
To start drying. Usually your ideas, you draw them out and then you paint them and stuff?
Well, I draw whatever image I'm going to use out first with graphite, and then I go over it with a line, because I don't want to lose my lines when I paint.
Okay.
And so
it's so precise, like your work is so pretty detailed, cleaned up, like it's really nice.
And
the way you present it.
yeah, it takes a while for me to like steady my hand to get like those lines and things like that. So
you're doing an amazing job.
Thanks.
What about this one? What would you call, or?
Oh, well, so the previous one, it was just a 2-panel piece.
Okay.
And, well, this one's a 2-panel piece. I call it Mirrors. And I don't really know where I came up with that character. Like, it just kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, a B-movie, like, you know, like Dracula kind of a face or whatever. But, like, basically what it's just saying, it's just the same character kind of sabotaging himself. Like he's just kind of doubting himself, or like self-talking, or well, actually it's just more like negative, like, you know, he's just it's just about self-doubt, pretty much, self-sabotage. And that's just what it is.
Sometimes we take the highest emotions that we go through life and we create something from it, or sometimes we don't. Do you feel like your art is a reflection of a period of your life, or is it just part of your creativity and your imagination? 'Cause sometimes I guess we could do either or. We could just do something because we have to, or we do something because we want to, right? Or sometimes it's a combination of both, and there's no such thing as dividing like body and mind, you know? What would you think about?
I'm influenced by a lot of things. I'm definitely influenced by my own experiences with like my own emotions and like mental health, or you know, because I've definitely been there so many times where I doubt myself, and I'm kind of the one that's doing it, like I'm doing it to myself, and so that's, so like with mirrors, that's kind of where that came from. And then it's also just like my own experiences, like with this drawing, this painting right here. You know, it's more like I take aspects from myself, or just like what I see in other women or like other people, and then I put it into this character. And so like for this piece, Never Been a Mermaid, a lot of people like that piece.
It's beautiful.
And it's just kind of me like sort of making fun of this kind of trend where women feel like they identify with the symbol of a mermaid, which is nothing wrong, but I don't think that everyone relates to that. Like I for sure can't relate to that. Like I'm not graceful, like I'm so awkward, and you know, I don't identify with that symbol. So like I made her up this like weirdo with an octopus head, but like she's also like confident and like, you know, pissed off, and just like just straight doesn't really give a fuck. And so I came up with her, and she's like anti-mermaid.
Mermaid, I like her. She still takes over the ocean.
Yeah.
I like that. She's really interesting. I like. Oh, this is another octopus?
Oh, that's just my progress.
Okay.
Picture. It's just
On the side.
yeah. That's just how I start off. Like I had stated before, I just draw my image, and then I go over it with a bold line, and then I apply the color, then I go over a bold line again.
Nice.
And so that was just like the beginning of that piece.
Fifi, I can't wait to see it on like buttons and shirts. Do you have like one over all of them that you would possibly put on like a button or a shirt?
I've made prints.
Yeah.
I've made prints. That's the one that the Never Been a Mermaid one is the one that people really buy.
liked?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
really like. And so yeah, this piece was based off of this guy who's working on my tattoo right now. Or well, actually has been for a long time, but that's my fault.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do a piece on him because, well, when I met him, I had like these really long conversations with him, like during our tattoo sessions, and I just sort of felt like he was like a sincere individual, like just himself, and I also admired him as an artist. I still admire him as an artist, and so I wanted to do a piece to just kind of like honor that personality type, you know, honor his personality, because you know I'm drawn to people who feel genuine to me. Yeah.
I like that. That's really cool. How every different painting or drawing has a different emotion or different experience behind it, you know, and it's always like up to, I guess, the person's interpretation sometimes, even though we have our own meaning behind something, right? But what do you think about that openness in art, like that you like, let's just say like you made the sorry, what was it? I know it's not a whale. You called it
Happy?
Happy. You made him happy, even though you said he's a mad guy, right?
He's like a jerk.
He's like a jerk, yeah. But I guess even that that yin yang, the two opposites in a character, is something that I've seen in a lot of people where they won't choose a side. You'll stay in the middle. You know, you'll be very happy or very sad, but you're still there. And I guess what I meant is about like the genuineness in people, where there's people that do pick a side and they're saying, no, I'm a genuine artist who works hard, who has hustled, and I'm here to share my work with you, and hopefully you like it. And if you don't, you know, hopefully that person will be creative themselves, you know.
Like being influenced and
by
stuff?
being influenced, yeah. At least, even if they like my work or not, then hopefully that pushes them to do something that they like, or to put something out there that will actually motivate that other person to be part of something, or to just, like you said, like accept themselves or push themselves as individuals, even if they're into art or not. Like you said, you went to LBC and to Long Beach City, but sometimes I I don't know, as someone who just, I think you, I saw on like your Instagram that I think it was your sister who just graduated from Cal State, or
She just graduated from Cal State.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
She got her master's degree in social work.
I like that. That's really cool. I definitely just graduated also from Cal State, but got my BA there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I work with not just students who went to school, but also individuals just like Coco Loco and like yourself, and of course Efrin, and people who just push themselves to do them, because it's not just like a hustle, but it's part of their personality and part of them, you know, like
as far as going to school goes.
As far as going to school, what do you think about or what would you say to anybody who goes to school or not to school, to just push whatever they'd like, or not give up, or I don't know?
You know, I think when it comes, it ultimately depends on the person, you know, and you know, because for me, I feel like going to school, I've been conflicted with like, you know, that these statements where that's where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, and I've struggled a lot with school because I wasn't sure like if art was gonna get me anywhere, and then like I went to child development, and like I was just kind of you know, lost and things like that. And ultimately for me, you know, school was not it for me.
Yeah.
You know, because it was easy for me to do. Like I was always like getting A's and like on honors and things like that, but like it was not that important to me in comparison to my artwork.
Nice.
So for me, I still go to school right now, even though I have my 2 associate degrees. I still go to school right now, but because it's important to me to improve. Like I you know, I always want to be better in the work that I do, you know? And I think that, you know, education is important. It's definitely important, and I think it's definitely important for individuals in our community, you know? But as an artist, you know, I've met artists that are self-taught and they learn from the streets, and they're great, you know, and they're fantastic. But as an artist, I think, you know, you kind of have to do what feels right for you and what makes you happy, you know. But definitely if you're going into social work and, you know, like that's important. Like you have to, you know, go to school.
You gotta go to school, yeah. I mean, like you said, yeah, both are really important. Like self-taught people from school or from the street. I've definitely met both, and I definitely admire your work and how you have your networking of people. Oh, this is another amazing piece. I like all the colors. What would you say about this piece?
So I created this piece for the Viva la Mujer show in March. And so the theme was Mother Nature, so I just used my character. And she actually has a name, but I don't know why I never mentioned it, but I named her Lola.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's just kind of a play on LOL, and it's a play on my name also, Paloma. And so I painted Lola, and then and I painted her like gold, and she's also like, you know, with gold, it's like you're kind of a higher being, like you're just important, like you're a goddess or whatever, and so that's why I depicted her in that color. And then I used symbolism of, you know, just symbols of nature, and there's bees there, and there's honey, and you know, and bees are symbolic of fertility. So I depicted her like giving birth, in a sense, to like the natural world, and so that's why she's kind of splitting open, and there's like, I guess, beauty just coming out of her. Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's a really good piece. Definitely in March. Oh, look at this one.
Oh,
I like this one.
yeah, I like, you know, I think I'm gonna, the direction I'm heading with now, I want to start like creating work with erotism. And so right here we have a couple, and they meet each other, and they have this idea of like spanking, you know, and so And then I posted this one up on Valentine's Day, and I said true love is when you meet the other person that has the right idea. So like if you're thinking about that stuff and you meet someone that thinks the same way as you do, then you have it, you know what I mean? And so I want to focus more on sensuality and like female sexuality, because I think it's empowering. And I think also in like today, I think also in our community with like Latinos, it's still like kind of looked down on to be sexual, like a woman, and you know, you're sexual and you're openly sexual, and so and there's people that I've conversed with that think that that's wrong, you know. And so like for me, I kind of want to open up, like start exploring that topic more.
I agree. It's a very strong topic and very marginalized within the Latino community. Definitely.
I mean, I think we all grew up with like our grandmother telling us to sit with our legs crossed and like, you know, like that we're cochinas if we sit with them open and stuff like that. So I just kind of want to like get away from that, you know. Because I think as women, you know, if like sexuality is really powerful, and I think that, you know, for men, I think it's scary, and so that's why I think it's, you know, sometimes women get put down because of it. Definitely. You know, if they choose a career that's, you know, if you're a stripper or whatever it is, like, you know, women get put down for it. But there's really no reason why. Like, you know, don't worry about it. Like, if that's her choice or whatever it is, you know.
What about if it's the most flexible schedule?
What's that?
I said, usually being like an independent artist, it gives you a very flexible schedule, you know, and definitely flexibility is something that we need nowadays with how fast life moves here in LA. I have a small boutique, I'd say, Yeska Interior Love, which is how I met Efren. And I just started selling my plantas and started communicating with people. And I guess it allowed me like a form of income, but it also allowed me a form of expression and communication with other people. So I definitely push forward to like independent jobs or artists who try to find different means of surviving or just finding themselves, like you said, or embracing themselves as a man or as a woman, but definitely pushing for feminism, which is the equality between us both, and pushing for a stronger society that not just embraces people who are at the 5K on Instagram, but people who are out there and just being themselves and very strong. Like you said, for instance, like being a stripper. Being a stripper takes a large character. As myself, like I work as a stripper, and definitely you need self-motivation, a lot of empowerment. And it's a world that's very marginalized, like you said, just like the arts. And in there you have to have your own like strong character. No matter what you've been through, you can't let it build you up now. And I definitely encourage. Thank you for hosting us as artists, and for you for bringing it to the floor, and for, you know, doing it for the people out here who are just trying to hustle and be themselves. And I definitely encourage you to continue doing your work because it's amazing. It's so clear. It looks like you just grabbed it out of like a little cartoon characters in like 1960. I don't know. It's super nice. I'd love to. I mean, is it already? You said it's like a piece in the city somewhere as a graffiti piece?
No, I don't do graffiti.
Oh, you're just influenced by the graffiti
I'm just
style.
influenced by it.
Oh,
These are
cool.
just all like in frames.
Oh, okay.
And then like I'll take them with me to like art shows and or like art walks and stuff like that. And
nice.
Yeah,
well, hopefully I do see her one day, because I feel like it's very raw, it's very real, and I'd really appreciate to see your work out there one day.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure like how long the show is, but I'm still. Last shout out to live painting.
A shout out like to. Oh, okay. Shout out. All right. So shout out to my sister.
Yay!
Yeah,
sister.
she's like been like my #1 supporter.
Thank you, sister, for being her support.
Yeah, she's strong. She's like the best. She's my best friend.
That's what's up.
Yeah, she's my best friend. And then shout out to the other artists. There's artists that I haven't met in person, but they've been completely supportive. Female artists that I met at Viva la Mujer, the female artists that I've met at East LA Art Walk, Gentle Riot, Luna Llena, and I definitely want to shout out to artists that I met through Pancakes and Booze, David, Sputnik Torres, and Ed Rock One, who's been completely helpful, you know, always answering my questions and you know, giving me advice when it comes to art. And yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
And I'm super excited to see this live painting. Now we're about to show. Oh yeah, I'm super excited to see your live painting. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I really encourage and appreciate that you came here with your family. I think that's really motivating. I think a lot of people should stick together and, you know, support each other in whatever we do, you know, drawing or going to school or just, you know, supporting other artists, you know. And so I'm definitely excited to see your work. But thank you, Paloma, Negra. And